Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker, is about someone sending mysterious Christmas packages to this young boy, and these packages are not joyful one bit. Hey everybody, how you doing out there? And welcome to the final review of the original franchise. It stops with number 5, and then the next one is a remake or a reboot that I believe came out in 2012. So just like my last two, maybe even my last three, I don't really have anything to really talk about with this film, any kind of story and all that. So we're just going to jump right into the likes. And the first like I want to throw out, about the first 5 minutes, or about 5 minutes into the movie to be exact, we actually have a very cool, awesome, interesting, messed up beginning, and I like the way it starts off with a human being and a toy. I promise it's not disgusting. I promise it's not sexual in any way here, but I will say that I was engaged going on in this first like 5-10 minutes. I was like, holy shit, if the rest of this movie could be almost as good as this like beginning, I will definitely be hooked onto this movie here. I really did like that. Going with the kills. I thought the kills were very unique, definitely different, stuff that you don't really see stuff now, and even when this movie came out back in 1991. And my favorite, without giving it away, of what exactly happened, has something to do with a landlord. That's all I'm going to say. When it comes to the toys, I guess even if you haven't seen the movie, you can probably look at the poster and realize, oh, it's about evil toys. And yes, the evil toys are really cool, and they're utilized very well in this movie here. Talking about a couple characters, one is Clint Howard. He's back in this. I believe he's playing the same character as he did in part 4, but he's only in it for like maybe 10 seconds. So it's just kind of cool to actually see him kind of make a cameo, say, hey, I was in this 4th one. Let's bring him back for a quick little wink here. Then you have Mickey Rooney. He is such a fantastic actor, other movies and other TV shows that he's been in. But in this movie, he's very believable. And there is actually twice in this movie that he has to be pissed off at a particular character, and he actually nails everything he has to do. When he's saying his dialogue and certain narrative stuff that actually goes on with what's going on with him and this other character, I thought it was the best part of the movie, was definitely with this particular actor. And the final like is gotta be the script. For the most part, I thought the script was very solid. I loved the dialogue from the actors in here. I thought even some of the narrative stuff was really, really good. And moving on to the dislikes, let's go with some characters. I want to start off with Mickey Rooney's son. I can't remember the character's name, but the thing about him is that when we first see him pretty early into the movie, he's acting weird around other people, especially around his father there too, even though the father knows about his own son and what the situation is, but he's not spilling the beans. But around other people, he's very odd. I mean, there's even a little bit of interest of what is going on with this character, but then when they finally reveal who he really was, even though I was a bit surprised, because like, okay, well that's something unique even for 1991, but I just didn't really care about it. We got Derek, which is the young boy that's getting all these mysterious Christmas packages. He's not a bad character. He's actually pretty smart when he actually really needs to be. But for about 90-95% of this movie, he is quiet, he's silent, he's mute because he wants to. Even like if his own mother's talking to him, yeah, he'll nod his head or maybe he'll smile at her. But that's not really developing a character much, because the kid could just talk about what exactly he witnessed at the beginning of this movie here to his own mom, and maybe his mom would have not believed him at first, like how cliche that would have been. I would have thought that was more interesting than what we really got, because talking about his mother, she's interesting for like the first 20-30 minutes, and I do enjoy her acting, but then after that, all the way until the end credits, her acting starts dying down, and I care less and less about what's going on with her particular scenes there. Then we have another character that we see named Noah, and the thing with him is that when we first see him, he's acting kind of creepy, and he's a crazy person. And then I'm like, okay, then they actually explain later on, just like Mickey Rooney's son, about what was that. Same thing here. His acting was okay, but I just didn't really care whenever they finally reveal why he acts the way he actually acts. When it comes to the gore, we get like one really good scene of gore. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy with that, but it does take about an hour into the movie. The big problem is that this is one of those movies that needed more gore, and unfortunately, and if we did, I definitely would have been probably giving this at least a half a star, maybe even a whole star or more, if we got more gore in this film, and unfortunately we really don't. We get two sex scenes simultaneously where they kind of go back and forth between between these two and between these couple over here. It really slows down the film, and it's not the only time. Kind of going back with Mickey Rooney's son. There's a scene where he's walking around the mother and son's house and nothing really happens. So that's another one that happens earlier in the movie where it slows down. But when it comes to these sex scenes, I'm like, okay, I'm not believing that these people are hot for each other. Now, they do have a killer Santa in this movie, but it's not quite what you think that they use the killer Santa for. So I was just very disappointed that I wanted to see, something where killer Santa and toys, almost like kind of Krampus or something, or Krampus. Like it was such a misfire of why they did what they did with the sort of killer Santa in this movie here. Another character, forgive me, that I forgot about was we have a character named Kim who is actually the neighbor to our main mother and the son. Well, it turns out not only is it the same actress from part 4, but it is the same character, and they kind of do like a quick one or two throwaway lines about saying that, yep, this is that same character of what happened to her in part 4 there, and she still cannot act, even being in a different movie that actually at least felt briefly like Christmas compared to part 4. At least she wasn't in this movie as much. And when it comes to the whole story here, this story starts off so well because of what happens with the very first scene going on with that human being and that toy. And then it kind of does, continue decently well for a little bit. But then unfortunately, it really does fizzle out in the second half of this film here, where it was just like, boy, you were actually really had me on board what was going on, even without that much gore in it. And then all of a sudden, you lost me. It was just like I just didn't care what was going on, at least about halfway through this film here. And then the final dislike is going to be the entire Act 3. Just like with the story, I really didn't care. I mean, there was even like a disgusting, could have been worse, but a disgusting scene that I was just like, oh, I can't believe they wanted to kind of go that way for even a minute or two. I just thought, oh, that is so stupid. And I hated most of the Act 3, I hated the dialogue. A lot of the reveals that was going on. I was not thrilled one bit when it came to that whole Act 3, which should have been the whole, this is going to be it. We're going to have, our good versus evil kind of going on here. And I was just like, nah, you kind of ran out of gas even before Act 3. Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker, I'm going to go 1 out of 4 stars. Have you seen this movie? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Give me a comment down below. We shall discuss it. And I will see you guys in the next review. Bye.